All right, what's good, guys? Welcome to today's trade recap. Today is February 10th, 2026. I took no trades today. As you can see right here, daily P&L 0.0000000. Okay, let's get into our daily buys. All right, bullish buys coming in this morning. We inverse a daily fair value gap, bearish gap, and we also inverse a 4-hour bearish gap as well, while also respecting bullish gaps and creating an SMT inside the most recent bullish 4-hour fair value gap. Okay, here's our SMT down here. I wanted to see manipulation lower at market open into the unfilled 15-minute and then a rejection from there. So we ended up getting a manipulation lower into the unfilled 15-minute, but not the one I was talking about. So let's go right here. Honestly, price action is looking fucking beautiful lately, and even though I didn't trade today, I'm very glad price action is picking up. So coming into this morning, I basically had two conditions. Okay, one was going to be this 15-minute BPR. And two was going to be these 50-minute bearish or bullish fair value gaps. Okay, if we inverse this BPR off rip, I was going to look for some sort of manipulation into here. Okay, we didn't end up inversing it. However, I was still looking for it, but at this point in time, now I'm like, okay, if we start ripping through this and we create a possible continuation setup, I don't mind taking it down towards this sell side down here and this unfilled 15-minute gap. And even though we had originally an SMT right here, which I ended up taking off, this is the one you guys seen in the bias. Originally when we had an SMT right here, nope, just kidding, it was right here. ES was the one that came and took it out. I was using these as our condition. So if we started just death candling through all this, I was going to try to target this unfilled 15-minute lower, because why? This unfilled 15-minute was basically resting a lot lower towards equilibrium than where we were trading originally. And that's why I kind of wanted to see some form of deeper manipulation, because as you can see, at least the 15-minute is semi near the 0.5 of the range, where we were trading when market open, we were all the way the fuck up here. So that is why I wanted to see some form of manipulation lower. Yeah, and at market open, we ended up shitting the bed. We had data news at 8:30, so here's our data lows, right? Market is still shitting the bed. Staying on the charts right here is the 1 minute. I didn't really see any shorts inside of here. We're kind of just chopping around. We did get this nice manipulation move, right? Okay, we're continuing farther and farther down. What do we create? We create this 1 minute bearish fair value gap, and we get an inverse. Why is this invalid? Okay, type in the chat or type in the comments if you guys know why. The reason why this was invalid was because we didn't take out this 15-minute unfilled fair value gap. Okay, look, it's resting what, maybe 5 points away from our stop, 6.5 points away from our stop loss. So if we do something like this, right, have our stop somewhere right here, well, our fucking unfilled gap is about 12 points away. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm like, okay, we don't really have nice internal structure. These are kind of violent moves down. We have an unfilled gap at our stop loss. I'm not really going to take this, but what do we end up creating? We end up getting a resweep, or not a resweep, just a sweep of these lows and a sweep of data lows, creating an SMT. At this point in time, where's ES? ES is still trading a lot higher, right? Never end up taking that out. So I'm at this point in time, I'm telling myself, okay, if we can get a resweep of this low, a tap into this 15-minute, and a rejection out of it, I don't mind longing. Okay, this is, I don't mind longing. This is going to be absolutely beautiful. These can go because these are useless. All right, and then now what do we create? We create a unfilled 5-minute right here. So I'm like, awesome, get a resweep, get an inversion, and I'm going to go ahead and target that. What ends up happening? Exactly what I want to see. We got a resweep, tap this 15-minute perfectly, never got an inversion. Okay, and this is why I stayed out the markets today, and I know there's multiple other entries on. I'll get to those in a second. There was a 30-second somewhere over here. I don't have the fucking 30-second chart, so I'm about to go and buy it after we're fucking done, because this was beautiful. We had a 1 minute CISD. We had a 1 minute order block entry with this right here. Okay, what else do we had? We had a 30-second inversion over here, and there was also a 30-second inversion somewhere in this leg as well. And really, if I was going to enter off this, I was going to enter off of this 30-second that would have broke over here, because we were respecting it for a pretty decent amount of time. So once we finally closed above this 30-second over here, I wouldn't mind entering off of that. Okay, hypothetically, if you guys did take this trade, good job, good for you. Your stops would have been somewhere right here. Break even at the 5-minute, and then you guys could have held all the way up here towards these equal highs, right? Let's go ahead and see how this plays out. Cool, now we're break even, straight rippage. We got to monitor ES. Once ES takes out these, well, I went break even once ES took out what it was. I think it was 1 hour intermediate highs. I would have went break even. So this last line all the way up here. So once ES took out this last line of defense, or this last liquidity pool all the way up here, I'm now full closing. So at this point in time, let's go to NASDAQ. So I had a full close right here, somewhere in this general area like this. All right, so it would have been a 1 to 2 RR play if I would have took this trade. Now, again, there was multiple other entries. There was a 3-minute entry that I think closed perfectly. And we were so bullish already, and I seen exactly what I wanted to see that I should have just went ahead and ripped this. It would have looked something like this. Oh, I was like, who is yelling? It's a fucking dog barking. It would have looked something like this. Come to the 1 minute, this is what it looked like. Right, barely any drawdown on this trade too. This trade would have played out for about a 1 to 1.3. I'd have my stop somewhere right here. Not the best stop loss placement, but if we're this bullish already, I don't want to see price retrace at all. And then finally, the most valid setup besides the 30-second and the 1 minute CISD down here was this 5 minute. So if you took this 5 minute, your entry point probably would have been somewhere right here. Take profit to these highs or these highs, whatever, and just make sure you guys go break even once ES took that intermediate high. Originally, my stop loss would be right here. Once ES took that intermediate high, let's see. Yep, once ES took this intermediate high all the way to the left, I would have moved my stop loss to break even. And yeah, this would have been a 1.2 RR anyway. Kind of a big stop loss, 51 points, so you probably wanted to de-risk on this anyway. However, it doesn't look bad at all. So entry point, stop loss right here. As you continue higher and higher, you can scale down. And you can either go break even once you took out this high. Could go break even once you took out this high if you were confident. However, once ES would have took out that internal or intermediate high, sorry, I would have been break even. And yeah, so beautiful price action today. Like I said, I just couldn't find an entry lower, and then this was just way too premium for me. It was going to give me bad RR. I should have entered. I didn't, hesitated, whatever. On to the next. We'll go to the next day, right? 5 minute didn't look too bad at all. And then I believe there was a possible short setup that happened super fucking quick, right? So 10 a.m.'s here. And I'm telling myself, I'm like, okay, since we are inside, or ES is inside of this giant 1 hour gap to the left of us, and this giant 4 hour gap to the left of us as well, I'm like, okay, I don't mind shorting this at all, right? 10 a.m. also open. We're kind of accumulating. I was like, this doesn't look too bad. This looks terrible now, but 10 a.m. open, we were accumulating. I'm like, cool. If we can get a rip higher, to sweep past this intermediate high inside of NASDAQ's 1 hour bearish gap, I was like, I don't mind shorting down towards this unfilled 5 minute right here, and then this unfilled 5 minute right here, and this is actually a little lower. Boom. So it would have looked something like this. Okay, let's go ahead and see how this plays out. We get a nice candle, nice manipulation move higher. I'm like, cool. So I have this 1 minute marked out. I was going to short this 1 minute until, where is it? Where is it? We got a resweep. I think there was an SMT with these highs as well, so it looked pretty good. Yes, there was, from right here. The 1008 high never got swept out. And the 1008 high did get swept out, right? So we have an SMT right here. Very tiny one. This looked like a beautiful mech model short. And as you can see, we just fucking did eat straight towards it. So if we would have got the close somewhere around here, now I believe there was a 30-second that would have worked with this too. If we would have got the close somewhere around here, my stops would have been just like above this body, TP down towards this second 5 minute gap right here for about a 1 to 1.4 RR. This is what the trade idea would look like. However, if you would have waited for the 1 minute, it would have been invalid because we would have hit this 5 minute, which would have been our break-even point. Okay, we ended up leaving equal lows with this 5 minute. I don't know what ended up presenting itself. I believe there was a 3 minute long somewhere in here that didn't end up playing out. Right, here's our 3 minute right here. Now, if you wanted a long, you would have had to wait for this 3 minute to get inversed. It finally got inversed right here, but I mean, just way too many candles after it already, what's it called? After it already formed, okay, and you're just entering in the midst of chop. Don't really know what the hell's going on. ES is taking out these highs up here anyway, creating another bearish SMT. So overall, this trade just looks absolutely terrible. So setup of the day was definitely the 30-second down here, or even you can go the 5-minute if you got a later entry. But yeah, this was a more of a CISD. If you were on the 1 minute, don't have the 30-second, this was more of a 1 minute CISD, 1 minute order block entry rather than anything. But if you have the 30-second, then you got those inversions on here. But overall, a pretty good day today. Price action is definitely picking up and a lot more clean. So I'm pretty excited for these upcoming weeks. I'm building my allocation right now back up. So yeah, it should be all good. We're at 9:55. Let's get it to 10 minutes. Links for everything down below. Free Discord in the description. 40% off. Code LoeGpa on loose trades. Link in the description for that. And with that being said, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead, leave them in the comments. I'll catch y'all boys later today for a daily profile video.